Welcome. Today we're going to do something different and check out some haunted items listings on Etsy. Come with me. Welcome to Local Love. And today we are reviewing some unique items that you can find in Etsy at different shops. And they all have one thing in common. They claim to be haunted. So we're going to go through these items, show them to you, and see what you think for yourself. Now, we don't recommend that you purchase items like this if you do not have any kind of an experience with haunted items. So for your own safety, please keep that in mind. Other than that, this is just simply for entertainment. We do not know if these sellers' claims for them to be haunted are true or not. So let's keep that in mind as we go into this adventure together. Let's go. Our first item is called Sa Ni Long Tong. It is from Thailand. It is an amulet for luck, and it is supposed to symbolize a wealthy man's corpse in a coffin, and is considered to be a powerful offering of wealth and good luck. It does come with a prayer cloth wrapped around this doll or figure, and is supposed to be made from some very powerful wood or some sort of item. The way that they say that you use it is, of course, you light 16 incense sticks to invite the prize spirit into your home and ask permission of the house spirits to let it in. And of course, then after that, it says you can worship it monthly, lighting 1 incense and offering it raw food. To wake up the pride, chant 7 times, Susu Na, Sisi Na, Sataya. All right, so that's the first item. What do you guys think? Okay, our next item, her name is Tabitha. It says she's a real haunted doll that needs a loving home, a paranormal positive spirit doll. And apparently Tabitha was hit her head when she was 34 and died. And they're saying that she haunts this doll. Tabitha says that Tabitha was a wonderful presence, and that she can sense your aura and gravitates towards kindness. So she needs a warm and loving home. She did come from a strict religious background, it says. And of course, basically, it says also that she does follow any rules or boundaries that you set for her, but that she does love to communicate through seances and Ouija board, and she'll move things. Sometimes she'll flicker the lights, and even it may mess with your TV signal if she wants attention. So definitely want to make sure that we keep an eye on that. And of course, she does include with this a sage incense stick for cleansing and protection. And it does say that Tabitha will go out of her way to protect other people from negative entities. So she's quite an interesting doll. Beautiful. Okay, our next haunted item is a haunted vessel photograph of Tom, young boy, age 6. And this is offered from Alternate Clothing on Etsy. And I'm just going to read to you exactly what they have here because it is quite detailed. Tom's photo shows his saddened little face with his piercing eyes. He looks intently at you, and his photo draws you to him. I have had him in my home for a while now and can attest that you do not walk past him without looking at him. Tom's photograph was discovered hidden behind other religious items in the frame. The frame was loose as it kept falling over, so it was opened up and Tom was found. It saddens me that he was hidden away for a long time, and I feel this child was for a long time overlooked and ignored. Perhaps the troubles with the frames were Tom's doing, as since he can see out of the world again, there have been no further issues. He deserves to be seen and acknowledged. There is a constant message from Tom during session. He brings through Child 543. I've received this time and again, and I believe what he is bringing through is how he was referred to. This spirit is showing me what I am taking as either a children's home or an orphanage. I have seen the word wavering, and I'm shown masses of children all in one place. Spirit shows me a number of children that appear to have similar clothing to the clothing Tom wears, and that it was not a happy place. It was a place of much illness and sadness. And basically, it shows that he was afraid of that, as when he goes to the dark place where he used to sleep and shows it to me, he shakes his head no. Now, also, it appears that he brings through that he can't run, that he had a problem with his foot, and that he was troubled by his foot, but Tom was not a strong boy and his health was poor. One night he went to sleep and shows me he didn't wake up, but he gave me free, which I take to mean in death his spirit is free. Poor little boy. Spirit brings coughing sounds forward as well. Now, one other thing that you might experience, whispers and footsteps in the room where you currently have the photo, and it's been in this person's collection for a long time. Spirit boxes bring him through quite often. They'll hear a hum, and small children often do when they are engaged in a task and hum to themselves. Tom needs a loving home and someone that will, certainly care for him and keep him out of the dark, as that is something that would frighten him. So that's the story of Tom. Our next one is a doll that has the spirit of a little boy named John in it, and it has been reduced. It says it's haunted, and that does provide some paranormal activity. This is offered from Spirited Moon Antiques, and this is what she has to say about John. It says, spirit attachment. The young boy named John is a little boy estimated to be around 7 to 9 years of age. He liked to play and just roam like a child would. From Nebraska, John lived on a farm which caught fire, as well as the family home. While he was the only one inside, the house rapidly caught on fire and he burned alive. There was nothing left of him. Shortly after, neighbors of the family reported seeing a little boy who looked like John roaming the nearby street and burn site. John's mother was very upset, and so she held family seances at the burn site, assumed to be with this same exact doll, which was found not far from where John had died, wrapped in a blanket and a wooden handmade cross, and what appeared to be blood on the outside of the blanket. Spirit box sessions, he yelled fire and that he was looking for his mother. Over time, I think John thought I was his mother and felt if I were being followed around, I could hear him saying, "Hi, Mommy." Very odd sounds, bumps right next to me, as if someone were standing there trying to get my attention. I've worked with John for weeks. I have held a lot of information in for so long, and I'm excited to finally share it. Even though the doll is fragile and antique, I felt the need to carry him around my home as if he were a baby, a child of mine. It came to a point where my husband told me I had to stop, and at that moment I became a little too upset, which is odd behavior for me. He also caught me talking to the doll as if someone were talking back, which I do not recall at all. The energy within my house shifted because of my husband telling me that I was doing this with the doll was not healthy and that I had to stop, and that made me very mad at him. It was like an obsession that I had no control over. It was very strange, and I personally do not think that the spirit that inhabits the doll is evil. It's just very mysterious. Our next item is Tilda, the haunted spirit doll. She moves her eyes and her head randomly, and it says that she's a sweetheart, caring, and very much a caregiver of others. She's always making sure that you're okay, and is very loving. So she wants everybody to know that they want you to take her to a spirit-friendly home only, but that she would be an awesome doll to have in your collection. So that sounds very sweet, and she does have a sweet little face. What do you guys think? You want to give Tilda a home? This next one it's called the Haunted Highway Picture, and it was drawn by Buddy, who was a long haul trucker from the 70s and through most of the 90s. And he was a very pleasant and easy to get along with fellow. He did a lot of driving. He was a little rough around the edges type, according to this. And of course, some things about this. The reason he drew this picture is because he was experiencing more and more this vision of a black human form. Sometimes it would show up in passing cars in the back seat, or in front of him on the road, or sometimes right next to him in the seat next to him as he was driving. It was very upsetting for his German Shepherd dog named Roy. And of course, the very last trip that Buddy ever took, he decided to leave his dog home, which he usually didn't do. But on this particular time, Buddy's truck was found on the side of the road at a truck stop on the Colorado-Wyoming border. The doors were open and he was nowhere to be found. And after a year of him being missing, the wife began to have paranormal experiences. And throughout the years, this would actually warn her and her son of impending issues and problems and things like that throughout the years. And so the son, after the mom passed away, asked them to sell this picture, and part of the proceeds are going to go to Big Cat Rescue, as they were very fond of their animals. This next item is very intriguing. It is a book by Edgar Allan Poe. It's got his stories in it, and it was a 1961 book, and it's said to be haunted by not only several women that loved Edgar Allan Poe, but also Poe himself. And one of the owners of the book, named Richard Mitchell, was deeply involved with the occult, and he was a devoted fan of Poe. On Halloween night in 1966, he performed an elaborate ritual, calling upon the spirit of Poe to possess the book to guide him with his own poetry and story writing skills. He enjoyed moderate success after that and claimed to have a true friendship with Poe. He also performed mediumship readings, claiming to be able to speak with spirits after performing the ritual. Now, after he had passed away, this book has changed hands many times, and several people experienced visions, intense dreams, episodes of automatic writing, and were said to have written messages and great poetry, even in languages that many of them didn't know. And some people see visions of several different women. One woman is in black and appears to be middle-aged. She has dark hair and a very pale face. She always looks at the book with intensity and loss, and has said she's in love with Edgar. Another woman has long red hair, appears to be in her mid-20s, and wears a light-colored dress. Witnesses say she glows, and she's always smiling. She blows kisses to people and points to the book, and then touches her heart. She tries to verbally engage people who see her, but nobody has been able to make out what she's saying. There's also an old lady dressed entirely in black, with white hair and a veil, who appears in the house where the book resides. She's often in a corner of the house staring, and she hunched over with a saddened look upon her face. And finally, several people claim to have seen Edgar Allan Poe himself. People claim he's a charming man with a fantastic sense of humor. So make what you will of it. It's a very intriguing item. The next item we found on Etsy is a very interesting doll, and his name's Frederick. It says that he was 27 years old and definitely loves the ladies, and that it is a haunted item. He'll easily communicate with women. He has turned on a flashlight and let you know when he is around. Unfortunately, he wasn't as active with men, so yeah, he just seems to like the ladies. But he is quite a prankster. He's a little bit ornery and mischievous for sure. If you don't mind that, he's sort of a perfect fit for any female. He is a positive spirit, but he does have a dark sense of humor, and he might startle you at times, as he does seem to watch you. And that can be a bit uncomfortable, so you want to think about that and fully understand him if you decide to get this item. The next item is this little doll. It's sort of a rabbit doll, and it is called Lucas, and it's inhabited by a 6-year-old from Europe who lived in the mid-1900s. He's a little shy at first, but once welcomed and talked to regularly, he will open up and let you know he's around. Usually he'll let you know by things like footsteps, giggles, shadows, items being misplaced. Lucas loves to belong to a family, and he's been seen by children and babies around him just laugh or giggle at nothing. And when you have a camera placed, you can see orbs as well. He likes yes and no questions the best, so a set of dowsing rods are recommended to be able to communicate with Lucas. Very cute, but interesting. The last item on our list today is a 1920s vintage holy water bottle. And it is said to have been used in many haunted places by priests. It would go upon to rid a home of ghosts in the Massachusetts area, and I traveled many places, and then through the years he held on to that bottle and would use it, and then all of a sudden it is said that he did stop using it and never used it again, and wouldn't tell anybody why. But when the bottle was passed on to other owners, they found that it was inhabited by a mother and her child. And it said that the woman has sandy blonde hair. She's from 1935, and her child is a little girl with brown curly hair. And the lady, female spirit, is said to be scared to move on because she was never baptized, and she wants to just stay with her child, as she's afraid that if she moves on, she won't be able to. And it said that goes on to say that they are very interactive, and that if you allow them to open up to you and get used to you, that they will communicate with you as well. So it's something to think about, and very intriguing antique item, and quite the conversation piece as well. So what do you think of what we found on our listings? I'm sure there's many other items on many other sites, but these were some of the interesting ones that we found. We hope you guys are enjoying this, and please contact us and comment below. Let us know what you think about what we're doing here at Local Love, and we want to tell you how much we appreciate you watching our videos. Peace.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with all your friends.
And hit that bell so you know when we have a new video.